There are more than 7,000 spoken languages in the world, but nearly half the population speaks one of just 12 as their first language. As a matter of fact, more than 3/4 of all languages are only spoken by a small number of people. Overall, most of the world communicates using just a handful of dominant vocabularies. So what are the biggest languages in the world? Well, by a landslide, the most common language comes from the most populated country, China. With more than 1 in 6 people on Earth claiming it as their first language, Chinese is primarily spoken by nearly 1.2 billion. Technically, Chinese is a macro language made up of 7 major groups spread out over more than 200 different dialects. In particular, Mandarin represents the vast majority of Chinese speakers, some 70%. The next language on the list is Spanish. With 400 million native speakers worldwide, it clocks in at less than half of Chinese's massive reach. But unlike Chinese, the birth country of Spanish isn't where it's most prevalent. Instead of Spain, Mexico takes the crown as the most populous Spanish-speaking country in the world, with 18 other countries in the Americas claiming it as an official language. Spanish is also the largest second language in both the US and Canada. Perhaps surprisingly, English is only the 3rd most spoken first language in the world, with 335 million speakers, barely the populations of the US and the UK combined. But when including those who learned it as a second language, that number bumps up to 830 million, surpassing Spanish, but not Chinese. Fun fact, English is not the official language of the United States. The US doesn't even have an official language, and yet reportedly 97% of its residents speak English. The rest of the top 12 lists break down into Hindi at number 4, spoken predominantly in India, Arabic throughout the Middle East, and rounding out the list are Portuguese, Bengali, Russian, Japanese, Landa, Javanese, and German, with nearly 1 billion speakers combined. With most of the world speaking the same few languages, it may just be worth your while to broaden your horizons and learn a second one. If you're